Donald Trump's anger has continued to grow off the charts to the point where his own advisors are now worried that his anger is going to tank his own campaign. A report from Axios just a couple days ago talked about the fact that Donald Trump, of course, is starting to kind of lose his grip on reality because his poll numbers are getting so bad. And as he loses that grip on reality, he lashes out. And yes, we have seen the angry attacks that Donald Trump is leveling against Harris and Walz on social media or in interviews. But the real bad stuff is happening behind the scenes, right? The angry text messages that he sent to Miriam Adelson, one of the biggest Republican donors ever. And he's attacking her in text messages. We have seen him lash out at his staff, according to the reports. He is on the phone with his friends complaining about how horrible his staff is. And every time new polls come out showing him doing worse, the anger grows. Let me read you this. And of course, the speech I forgot to mention where he's going after Brian Kemp, the Republican governor of Georgia, even though he's like one of the most popular governors in the country. All of this is just wearing down his advisors. So here it is. Trump's advisors are aware that they are unlikely to change a 78-year-old man known for his stubbornness. Therefore, they're focused on, quote, not on the need for him to change, but on the need to adapt his message to win. So change. Like, we don't want you to change. We just want you to adapt and be totally different. You want him to change. Like, you have to, if you can't be honest with yourselves, if you can't be honest with the media, then you can't be honest with Donald Trump. But anyway, he has to convince himself to leave the other garbage behind, according to a source close to the Trump campaign. The deeply rattled advisors are also hoping he'll take on a new hard-hitting stump speech that pushes a winning message, and they've invested tens of millions into TV ads and an ad blitz targeting states like Georgia, North Carolina, and Michigan. Well, it's kind of too little too late. A poll came out Wednesday morning showing that Kamala Harris is now either beating Donald Trump or is tied dead even with him in all 7 of the major swing states. Now, I don't know if you've looked at the Electoral College projections for the 2024 election, but Harris only has to win, I think, like one of those swing states in order to capture the election. She's winning all of them right now. And that includes Georgia, where Donald Trump was almost double digits ahead before Biden dropped out of the race. Georgia was out of play when Biden was the nominee, and now Harris is tied with Trump in Georgia. In fact, there were reports this week, much to my surprise, saying that Harris actually has a good shot at winning Florida, which I still think that's a little far-fetched because registered Republicans outnumber registered Democrats in Florida by over 1 million. But anything is possible at this point. Conventional wisdom is out the window because Donald Trump is such an unbelievably bad candidate. Harris could win Florida. I got an email from Newsweek on Wednesday morning that said, is Harris going to turn Texas blue? Which, as I've repeatedly said, is the talking point every 4 years from Democrats. Is this the year Texas turns blue? No, this is not the year Texas turns blue. I'm optimistic about Harris. I'm optimistic maybe about Florida, but there ain't no way in hell we're turning Texas blue this year. We're working on it. Trust me, we got great activists there, great ground game, but we're not there yet. Either way, all of this is making Trump angrier. And as he gets angrier, according to these reports, he's attacking his staffers more and more. And eventually, even though they're not there yet, they will hit a breaking point. These people will not sit there and take this abuse forever. Stephen Chung will, Donald Trump's lead spokesperson. Chris LaCivita will. Susie Wiles will. Those are his 2 campaign co-managers. But clearly those people are not doing a good job. They're not actually doing Donald Trump any favors. So I don't think that they're, sticking with him no matter what helps anything. What will happen, I do predict, and honestly kind of surprised it's not already happening, is we will start seeing a mass exodus. We will start seeing these other campaign workers, campaign advisors, people are going to start abandoning him. And the reason I say that is because we've already seen it. Not necessarily from inside the campaign, but in the last week, I have talked about the fact that donors, the big money donors, are starting to abandon Donald Trump. They see the writing on the wall. They know that he is a loser. They do not see a path forward for him to win. So they are starting to pull out. The MAGA influencers all over social media are starting to concede that, yeah, this campaign is so bad, I don't think we can pull it off. Trump, if you don't change, you're going to lose, is what they're telling him. And they're right. So they're already at the point where, yeah, this ain't going to happen. But his staff, the people actually running the campaigns, are not quite there yet. But they will be. Because as I mentioned, as bad as Trump is with his anger towards Kamala Harris that we see publicly, it is nothing compared to the, so-called catch up on the walls that's happening behind the scenes. These staffers, these advisors, everybody working in the Trump campaign, they're getting the brunt of it. And that's what they're trying to convey in these interviews that they're doing, of course, anonymously for obvious reasons. But they're like, yeah, the anger's off the charts. And when they tell us that, when they tell the reporters that, they're not just saying like, wow, man, this guy's bad. It's almost like somebody that's been through abuse. And they're trying to give these signals to say, hey, yes, he's a very angry person. Things are very not good behind the scenes. Nudge, nudge, we're getting, obviously not abused, but we're getting blamed for all of the horrible things. We're telling him to do the good things. We're telling him, you've got to change. You've got to start doing this. Maybe say this. He's not listening. And at some point, those staffers are going to have to wake up and realize he's not going to change. So what are you doing? Is it worth it? I know the campaign managers, all these hardcore in MAGA world people, they think they're going to be just fine. But these average, everyday staffers for the campaign, the people really getting the brunt of this, when Trump is gone, if he loses in 2024, and then, he still has his legal problems that are going to take him down, y'all have to find new jobs. And you're either going to go back into politics, working as a campaign advisor. This isn't going to look good on your resume that you went down with the ship. Or if you're going to stay, you're going to have to find a job outside politics because, to quote the old adage, you'll never work in this town again. Those staffers are going to have to make those realizations. And at that point, when they do, because I do believe they will make those decisions, we're going to see a mass exodus of Trump staffers. And at that point, his campaign, I believe, will officially be dead before we even get to the election. And it could happen very soon if he can't get his anger under control. Hi, everyone. This here is little Athena. And Athena would like to know why you haven't subscribed to Fair and Balanced yet. So please, don't let Athena down. Subscribe today.